Okay, so I believe we're now live. Yes, hello everyone. You probably have seen me before. If you haven't, I don't know who I am. I'm Viper, or Viper UK, or ViperRaces, however you want to, whichever one you want to go with. I'm going to be showing off Auto Modelista for the PS2. Now this is being run on emulation, so load screens and stuff like that be a lot faster than what you get on console, but I digress. This was back in the days of the cell shaded games, so we've got our car set up. I have to do specific things to get the car set up. There is actually one teensy tiny thing I need to remember to do before I do go online, but let's get this sorted out. So basically, for those that don't know, yeah, this game came out in 2002. Was released as a game. It was one of the games of all time. But yeah, it's a nice little game, and yeah, where we get to. Anyhow, let's get going, shall we? So this is the any percent, and we've got to go through 7 levels altogether. And we're going to start with the Loop Highway Challenge Cup, and time is going to start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Keep rocking, baby.
Okay, so a couple of things first and foremost. Most of the game is based in Japan, and there are a lot of the tracks that are based around Japan. So, for example, Osaka Highway is based in Japan. Now, I will be straight up honest. What you can do is you're able to, well, how do I put it? A lot of this game will involve basic driving, and there are a couple of different things to kind of note out. So first and foremost, you'll notice that the art style is the main one. So we have this cel-shaded art style, which is still very iconic to this day. Yeah, there's a bit of a rocking soundtrack going on in the background, as you can hear. I don't think it's the best, but it's still pretty decent for what it is. You'll hear the guy who's got the voice in the background, you'll hear him a couple of times, so prepare to hear him a couple of times. But yeah, like I said, this is being run on PS2 emulation, and the main thing to note is that we're going to start off first and foremost, so we have 7 levels that we need to go through to beat this game. We won't be doing all of the races, we'll only be doing a select few per each one. So we start off with beating level 1 with Loop Highway Challenge Cup. Once this is done and dusted, we then just have to do the next one, which is we've got Akagi Downhill Challenge Cup and Rainy Street Challenge. Also, I kind of stopped a bit early there, but that's fine. So there's a lot of button pressing going on. You'll probably see a lot of spamming at the start, so let me get rid of this first and foremost. So, there we go. Okay, so you'll notice as well, straight off the bat, now we're using the Subaru Impreza 22B, and the reason why we're using this car is because at the start of the game, this is the best car to use in terms of how to tune it. You can actually get a really good start at the start of the game. In terms of handling as well, you can really make the corners as well. So there are a couple of differences. So if you were to pick this game up, there's 2 versions that you'd be looking at getting here for this one. So first one is obviously the one we're playing, which is I'm playing the European release, because if I play the Japanese version, everything's in Japanese, and I don't read Japanese too well. But regardless of the matter, you can see here we've got like a downhill section, which is like Densha D sort of style. Now the car does turn in very, very sharply compared to the other version. So you may be wondering what I'm on about with this other version. So when the game originally released back in 2002, released in Europe and in Japan in 2002, with it getting a release in the United States in 2003. However, there is one big detail to remember. When the game originally came out in Europe and in Japan, the cars had, in my opinion, and this is the general consensus, is that the handling of the cars was very grippy. You can see here that the cars are getting around the corner pretty well. The car's gripping, and that's not just because, oh, it's a Subaru, it's got 4-wheel drive. It's like No, genuinely speaking, the first versions of the game in Europe that released in Europe and Japan had this really grippy handling model. When the game released 1 year later, and it came out in the United States, it also meant that what ended up happening was that we had the consensus was that the handling model was more loose, and as well, because it being the American version, it added more to it. So, for example, just to kind of mention one of the things, was that you'd get in the European and Japanese release, as I said, a lot of the cars were based off, they're all Japanese. If you had the United States version, you would have like the Dodge Viper, for example, which is pretty good. It's also the fastest car as well that's available. But if you want to buy this game, I'm pretty sure you could probably get hold of it. The PAL/Japanese release, for some reason, seems to be very difficult to pick up. I don't know why it's so difficult, but yeah. Also, one thing I will definitely give this game credit for, I know that emulation is probably doing a lot of the hard work here, but yeah, the wet weather physics around Tokyo look amazing for 2000. Like, by 2002 standards, this does look really good. And that, like I said, ignoring the emulation aside here, it does look pretty damn good. Like, it really, the other things as well is the speed lines, like, again, what you get in Initial D. There is probably a case of, oh, okay, this is just ripping off Initial D, I guess you could say, or Initial D, whatever. It's like, it was made by Capcom, out of all companies. Capcom decided to make this. There was never a sequel for this game. The closest we got to, not a sequel, but to the cel-shaded games was the game GT Pro series that released on the Wii, or GT Cube as it's known, that released on the GameCube. That's the closest we really got to cel-shaded games until the indie racing game until the indie racing game scene developed, and yeah, we got a lot more pixelized racing games. One of which being Victor Heat Rally. If you've never seen that game, or if you have seen it, feel free to pick it up and give it a try. It's a great game for an indie developer. Like I said, the game mainly focuses on rock music, by the way, for its soundtrack. So, for those wondering, we do have a setup that we do before the run starts for this specific car. If you were to use like any of the standard cars, then there would be a case of, oh, let's see what we can come up with, you know. Yeah, no, it's not too bad. It's pretty good. So, oh, happy days. Also, there we go. We've blasted through level 2. The first few levels we will blast through. I think it was... There we are. We've got the Uro Rocco hill climb challenge that we're going to do. So Rocco Hill is actually really easy. It's about 1 minute and 20, 1 minute 30. However, if you do this in like this, you can see here that we're really blasting through it already. A lot of the game often focuses on the like Initial D hill climb style of events, as well as plain circuit racing. But yeah, as I was kind of saying, the differences between the two games, the two versions, going back to that discussion. If you were unfortunate to buy the US version, then you would have more cars. So you would have, I think, like the Corvette appeared as well as the Dodge Viper. You're allowed to do engine swaps, which turned out to be a much faster move. There's even a few extra tracks in the United States version, mainly dirt ovals and that sort of thing, which is really good. But again, the handling is what lets it down more than anything else. It kind of makes sense for like the Dodge Viper because, you know, a heavy muscle, sport muscle car, and the Subarus are not really meant for that. But yeah, if you ever get a chance to play the two versions, you'll see what I mean if you ever do. But yeah, no, it's all good fun. See how we get on. Through here, and the first one. Nice. So we're going to do the Rainy Street Challenge Cup 2 after this, which should be interesting because we'll see what happens there. You can buy, there are like a lot of different cars in here as well, which is great. There's a great selection. We're going to do Rainy Street Challenge. The reason why we do the events that we do, by the way, is because of the fact of there are plenty of different like routes and stuff that you can take, and these are the ones that we found are the fastest. Now I am going to do a slight change I'm going to do a slight different slight different change in level 4, because so the main route of this game is you do the first 4 levels and then you upgrade your car. Once you've got to level 4 and you finished it, before you move on to level 5, which level 5 to 7, by the way, they're just championships with a set amount of races. Once you are done and dusted with level 4, you upgrade your car and it makes it an absolute powerhouse, and allows you to basically, how do I put it, take the AI to church, we'll call it, you know, take it to school. I don't know. But yeah, no, it's pretty slick, and the car does become a pretty good powerhouse. In the US version, it's a different ball game altogether. So in the US version, the route goes that you do up until a couple. I think you start with the Dodge Viper as the main car. Then you eventually, after a while, I can't remember exactly what happens, but you do an engine swap with the, I think it's a Toyota or Honda S800 or something like that. Toyota Celica or the Honda S800. It's like a really small old car. And you do an engine swap, and the car becomes an absolute menace. Because even though it's small, it becomes extremely powerful because of how little amount the power is and everything like that. Like the power to weight ratio is extreme, so it's like becomes a lot faster than any other car. It's kind of comical, really. Yeah, there you go. Also, that is level 3 done and dusted, just like that. We've got level 3 done and dusted. We're gonna quickly get through this. So, like I said, for the most part, it's just spamming through menus as well when we get to there. We've got Uro Rocco, so we're gonna do this one. So this is not too bad of an event. This is actually kind of an easy event. So it's one race down, one race back up the hill. And then we've got to move on to... Now this is where you can differentiate between the two routes. So there's 2 routes you can take. The route I'm taking is the original route. But there is a route that is about a minute faster. And if you're fast enough, you can do it. Now, unfortunately, in practice, well, the route that's faster didn't go down so well. So rather than risk it, we're gonna do the play it safe route, which is the OG route. But yeah, like I said, the cars are very grippy in the European and Japanese release. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering how you can tell the 2 versions apart, because the PS2 version also has a North American release, it's quite easy. The original release has a picture of a Mazda RX-7 on the front cover. If you buy the North American release, it has a Dodge Viper on the front. I think that's a fairly easy sign. Basically, blue car is the original, red car is the remake. Now, unfortunately, the only version that had the original version of the game was the PlayStation 2. You can't get the original version on the Xbox, which it also released on. And also on the GameCube, so yeah, make of that what you will. There we go. There's one done, dusted. So what I've got to do here is I've got to spam through a few things here. Unfortunately, I have to spam through a few menus, but yeah, this is fine. Oh, good. Now we've got to race back up the hill again and do the reverse route. Also, for a game that released in 2002, I will be completely honest, I think that I do think that the Subaru has a really good sound. Whoops. That Evo's gonna get away. I cannot let it. My arch nemesis. Also, because this was 2002, this was the Evo and the Subaru that was out at the time. Also, this is a pretty good battle. I like this. Like a game of chess with the Evo. He's really going for me, isn't he? God damn. This Evo's really mean business. I didn't have any problems with him in practice. Guess the AI is on like, haha, I have learned. You have not. Also, yeah, if you crash, the game insults you. Like, this isn't. I feel like, talk about having a hard time with a game. All of a sudden the game's like, why are you so bad? But yeah, not bad. Two wins from 2, so nice. Also, just short, just a little over 2 seconds. But hey, we win that, so happy with that. That's all good. Okay, so now we've done Uro Rocco. I'm gonna do Loop Highway. Now the thing is, out of the 2 races, there's this one and this Rainy Street series, Rainy Street Masters Cup. And basically you have to do the Tokyo race both ways. Unfortunately it doesn't do too much, but yeah, we're gonna try and hopefully get away from the AI here. So I need to be extremely careful when it comes to the AI here. You may be able to get away, I may be able to get away, they may keep on my tail, we will find out. Also, I will be completely honest, the AI can use, if they use your slipstream to catch up, they become exceedingly quick. So yeah, you do have to be careful. Like I said, I chose to do this route specifically because of the fact that if I'd used the faster route, it does involve more driving skill. Plain and simple. I've not done a run of this game for a couple of years. For those that aren't in the loop on that one. But yeah, like I said, in terms of if you were to learn this game and learn this run, there is a guide for the North American release, and only just recently, literally as of about 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, I decided to finally make a guide for the PAL version, because no one has got, there isn't a guide for the PAL release, and the PAL release is different to the NTSC version, so it usually helps to have a guide. So if you go on that guide, you'll find all the details, what races to choose, how to set your car up, and yeah, how to do everything else. So yeah, not too bad. Yeah, I know you guys must be thinking, it's like, oh, okay, so we're just doing, we've got to do 2 laps of this, and then we've got to do 2 laps the other direction. Unfortunately, yes, it's not the best. But again, you complete a lot of the levels fairly quickly. The first 4 levels you can complete in about 20-something minutes at a push. And then obviously, like I said, the last 3 are, so we have the Urban Championship, the Mountain Championship, and the All Japan Championship. Now, the Urban Championship is relatively straightforward. From what I remember, there's 2 races around, I think it's Tokyo area 1 and 2, so you do the race forward and in reverse, and I think you do the 2 races of this, again, forward and in reverse. The Mountain Championship, you take on both of the mountain races, both forward and reverse, and then the Japan Championship, as you do Tokyo, Tokyo, it does Tokyo, the highway loop, and a few others too. It's actually pretty good. What's really good actually is the fact that you end up actually doing one other thing too, which is you do the Suzuka circuit, and the Suzuka circuit is the finale. So yeah. I've seen somebody ask, is this a PS2 game? Yes, it is. it looks pretty good, but that's only because the fact of emulation is helping this one. And for a game, as I was saying before, a game that released in 2002 really does look amazing. Yeah, Capcom was really in their prime when it came to this. The funny thing is as well is that Capcom have made this game racing wise and then they've never come back. Like, Capcom, come back, make another one please. I mean, bear in mind at the time, so when this game released in 2002, the only PS2 games that were really out at the time, it was Ridge Racer 5 because that released as a PS2 debut, I think it was. Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec, which on emulation obviously looks really good. I think in general looks really good. And then you had this in 2002. You know, I think this was the year before Need for Speed Underground as well. Obviously we got Need for Speed Underground and Underground 2. Obviously Hop Suit 2 I think was around as well, 2001, 2002, so yeah, there you go. It was only till like the middle to late half of the 2000s before the next generation of consoles came in that we had games like Gran Turismo 4, which released in 2005, or 2004 I think if you lived in Japan. What else did we have in 2005? I'd say Need for Speed Most Wanted as well, and then Carbon, its sequel, was 2005 and 2006 respectively. What else did we have racing game wise? There's a couple other games too. I can't think of them all off the top of my head right now, but yeah, this was really standing high above the rest. But here's the thing: the game didn't do so well. This game just didn't do that well on the market. Why? Don't know. But nowadays, it's looked back fondly, and that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. So yeah, roll on the days of this. Also, with the Loop Highway Challenge being out of my head, and thank God it's out of my head because holy cow was I struggling with this the other day. We now get to upgrade our car and then go to the Urban Championship. So yeah, let's see what happens next. So let's get through all the menus first, because you have all the menus. We've got to go spam through this first. But before anything else, now what I need to do, I need to go to tune in my car. And I need to tune my computer. So engine, we're going to tune to level 4. Gearbox, we're going to do max speed. And we're going to put that setting at 5. And we're going to put on level 2 weight reduction. I've got it up here in my notes as well. It says, do you want a part? You can. You go, no. And now that we've got the car done and how we want it. There we go. Right, so now that we've got the tuning out of the way, we now get to dominate the cars even more than we did before, because now the car's got a lot of horsepower. Now we're going to go to Tokyo Area 1. So this is actually a track you haven't seen before. Yeah, as I was saying, it's fast. As you can see, well, especially with the steering as well. This is going to be some joyride. The car should be a bit faster than what it was before. It's mainly useful in a straight line now. As I was saying before, won't be as fast as some cars. Yeah, won't be as fast as some cars in a straight line, but again, that's fine. What we've got is we've got to do 4 races of this Urban Championship. So first one is this one, and then I think we do it backwards, plus the what's it called, the rainy tracks, I think it is as well. So what we did before. So the funny thing is with this is that this track is completely bone dry, yet when you do the other Tokyo race, it's like, actually no, it's wet. It's never dry. I don't know why. But yeah, there you go. Obviously, in a straight line, this thing completely dominates what everything else throws at it. If I wanted to, if I so desired, I could really tune this car up and it would completely destroy everything even more so. For those wonder as well, so like, this car's not fully upgraded, nowhere near. But if I was to fully upgrade this car, it would be a monster. We only upgrade as much as we can at that point, and then go off that. But we do get given more powerful, more powerful upgrades for the car. So yeah. Also, as I was mentioning before, the US version has the route change entirely. So sometimes the route might be the same, other times the route might change. But again, if you're playing the PAL version, the route is the same that you play PAL or Japanese. But again, if you're like, oh, okay, I want to play North American version, it's like, you can do some of the same races, but we'd recommend you do these instead because they're faster than doing them with this one. That makes sense. Yeah, if you can master the US version, you can go a lot faster. The other thing is as well is that there's more races that you have to do. In the original version, which like I said is this one, we have less races that we need to complete, which will... Yeah, we'll have more races to complete in the US version than we do in the European version, so yeah, make that what you will. Okay, so... Race 1 done and dusted, so I'm going to move on to the second one. Like I said, it's the same one, but it's in reverse. Plus, I think the 2 wet races, so yeah, there we get them. So this one is, because it's the reverse version, it means that this first corner is a bit tricky because, yeah, that's why. It's just because it's downhill. So bear in mind, at the end of that, at the end of the last race, at the end of the lap, you go uphill, to get to the start-finish line. Whereas now we're going downhill. It's a bit of a curve too, so yeah, it's a bit like a mountain race in a way. And like I said, in terms of what we've got to do, we have to do a lot of the races we do. It's kind of weird because in a racing game, at least, you think everything would get, you know, everything would be separate and things would be like, oh, okay, it's not too bad. You just got to do this, this, and this. When now it's like, actually, no, it's not like that at all. You know, for example, it normally just like, okay, it's 20 minutes for this, and it's 25 minutes for the next boss, and 25 for that, you know, that sort of thing. Like a Need for Speed game, for example, the games tend to get longer, because there's more races to do, and that sort of thing. This game is like, yeah, you can clear the first half of the game out, like that, and then the second half of the game is the drag. That's the much longer bit. So, yeah. Yeah, in terms of like vehicle characteristics and things like that, for those that don't know, so the Subaru Impreza 22B had a few different models. It had a P1 variant, which was released, and it was the one that was famously used by Colin McRae in 2000, I believe it was. Not 2000, sorry, 1998. Was where they used the P1. Well, I mean 97 actually. No, sorry, my bad, 97. And that was the one that he used in the World Rally Championship. Allowed Subaru to take a manufacturer's title away from Mitsubishi, which ended up winning the World Rally Championship, with Tommy Mäkinen being the World Rally Championship for that one. But I think most importantly, above all things, is that I've been a Subaru fan for as long as I can remember, mainly because of Colin McRae. Plain and simple. Any game that allows me to drive a Subaru, I will use it. It might not be the fastest, but my god, I love the sound. I love the sound of the car. It's kind of one of the reasons why I think I played Need for Speed Most Wanted, and the Subaru that they used in that version I quite liked. But yet when they used it in one of the earlier Need for Speeds, I wasn't so keen. I don't know why, it just wasn't. But yeah, there you go. So the fun fact is I actually own a Subaru Impreza myself. Not to toot my own horn or anything like that, but it's the 2006 WRX that I own. And yeah, it's in blue, as like grey silver alloys. It will be in a couple of weeks. Yeah, it'll be nice. Yeah, nice. All good fun. Quite nice actually playing a few racing games, and it's like, oh, okay, I've got a few racing games. We've also got this, and this. Like, yeah, there you go, I guess. Yeah, it's nice. 273? Yeah, I can just about get 273 out of this. Just about. Be a nice easy loop. Like I said, I've got to do this backwards as well, so feel free to put your feet up and relax for the next 5 or so minutes. Like I said, when we get to the mountain bit's a bit more intense because of the fact of, well, it's a bit like Initial D essentially. It's, you've got your mountain climbs, you've got to go downhill first, and you go back up. You've got to do it on both of them. So the reason why I mentioned about the mountain championship a little bit is because there's 2 different mountain tracks in this. There's Rocco and I can't remember the other one. There's the other one. But the Rocco one is my favourite because it's about a minute and a bit, maybe a minute and a half long. But the other one is much longer, so it's about 2 minutes long. It's the one that we did at the start of the run. And yeah, doing that down back up, it's like, right, okay, so it's about, I think, 3 minutes to do Rocco, and then the other one is about 4-ish minutes. So it's a shortish one. Truth be told, the Urban Championship takes quite a fair bit. But yeah, nothing too much. Like I said, driving in a circle, it's fairly straightforward. A lot of people do reckon that this is what most racing games are. It's like, oh, you just drive in a circle. In this race, yeah, yeah, you do. And it's about as straightforward as it gets. Now, the funny thing is, in terms of like times and stuff like that, the record that's being held for the any % original, so the original version of the game, not the US tuned version. That's how we tell them apart. Original is the PAL Japanese release. US tuned is the NTSC version that released everywhere else in 2003. And the guy is called Fair, the guy who has got the record in this. It's a 106.48, set on the Japanese version, I believe. My PV is like a 107.08, I think it is, which, like I said, is a couple of years old at this point. But in terms of like the game itself, as I said, not too much I can really mention about it, but yeah, it's always a good thing. Like I said, there's plenty of different cars. You can customize them, you can do whatever you want to them. You can even you can see here that I've got Viper on the reg, and it's like, yeah, that's the thing, you know. It's good fun. So 3rd race done and dusted. Got 1 more race to go.
Keep rocking, baby.
So let's see how we get on with the last race. So fingers crossed. But again, we've just done 3 laps. Time to do it in reverse. There we go. We're already getting up to speed. Yeah, but like I said, about 3 and a bit minutes for this one, so nothing too much. Yeah, Yeah, Capcom really did think of ways to make this game interesting. But as I said, a lot of things that you can do. I mean, like I said, I'm barely scratching the surface of this game by doing what I'm doing, of course. But like, if you wanted to, you could build your own powerhouses. I mean, the thing is as well is that whilst the Subaru's the best for the run, if you wanted to, you could use, for ILs at least, obviously the Subaru's not the best for the ILs, you can use, I've seen people using Skylines and stuff like that. North America version, people use the Ford GT or a Skyline or something different. It's quite remarkable, to be honest with you. You can come up with your own unique builds, which is quite nice. But like I said, there is the different versions of the PAL version versus the NTSC version, so yeah, it's really up to you what you decide is the best version and which cars are you know, to your leisure. Essentially, if you the way you could probably think of it is that, like in Need for Speed, realistically speaking, if you're doing a speed run, you have to follow like a certain path and a certain car and all the rest of it. But casually playing, just like any other game, it does offer some creative freedom. In my personal opinion, it doesn't offer as much as what some of its competition, you know, could offer, like Gran Turismo and stuff like that. But at the same time, there wasn't really many cel-shaded games out back then. So yeah, the one thing that mainly people focus on with this game is the fact of its cel-shaded art style, which is the reason why I think a lot of people, especially the indie scene, has gone towards that a lot. Not like entirely, but they have gone towards the cel-shaded art style. Nowadays, it's like when people look back on this game, it's like everyone remembers this game as, oh, it was that one. It's like, yeah, it was that game. But the main thing above all else is the fact that people have talked about this game for years, and it's become the point that because we're looking back on this game so much, you remember how when you mention about something being underrated, it's because of the fact of because nobody cared for it and nobody talked about it. This game has had so many videos talking about it being underrated that it's now overrated. Yeah, I personally do think that when the game released on the PS2, this game was underrated. It was a hidden gem that was missed, but because of the fact of, and this isn't like speedrunning, this is just how people have decided to go away from AAA racing games and go back to, I mean, technically speaking, this was a AAA racing game, but go back to AAA racing games, you know, 2 decades ago. People are now going, oh, I've never heard of this game before, and it's like, oh, this is really cool. And now everybody and the mums is covering it, so yeah, that's the thing. Also, we are done with the Urban Championship, so we now move on to the Mountain Championship, which, like I said, is a bit more tricky and will require a bit more concentration, so apologies if I don't say too much during the Mountain one. I will try to speak where I can. Apologies if I don't.
You made it.
There we go.
Amazing result. Mountain Championship. Keep rocking, baby.
Okay, so we're on to the Mountain Championship. So, yeah, it's pretty damn good. Also, that's interesting. About reading about distributors as well. You would have thought people would have stopped it. That's quite interesting. But anyhow. So my car's tuned for acceleration more than anything else. One thing I do try to remember on this specific, one thing I try to remember on this Mountain Championship is don't look behind you, because the AI is always going to be right behind you no matter what. Also, I believe that this is an original soundtrack as well. I don't know who sings it, unfortunately, but yeah, it works okay for a game like this. Surprised that there's not more like Japanese-based songs in the game, but I guess it was the East appealing to the West. If anything, it sounds very much like a British band that's singing it. Nice. Also, apparently I beat the skyline by 5 seconds. That's impressive. Didn't think I could, but yeah, sure.
Check it out.
Also, 1 race done. 3 to go. So I've got to go back up the hill. Plus I've got to go down the other mountain race and back up that as well. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. So that particular set of corners is what caused me to lose to the Evo last time. I think also as well that the AI is a lot faster uphill than it is downhill. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. Yeah, Mountain Championship is will probably be a big hurdle for anyone looking at running this game, to be honest. I'd say. You do need to learn the stage as good as possible. I'm putting my brakes on like a fair bit because I can't remember what corners come next. You do get the directions above you, which is supposed to help, but yeah, let's see how things go. There we go. Okay, yeah, we absolutely dominated him. Absolutely blitzed it. Nice. Very nice. Absolutely blitzed him. Good old Subaru coming through again. I blitzed the Skyline. RX-7, I think an Evo? Not quite sure. This is the other one. Akagi Hill. This is it, yeah. Akagi Hill is the other one I was on about. I love how he says who'll be crowned champion. I'd like to think that's going to be us. Also, these corners, if you hit them a bit too hard, you can easily get stuck on them. It is very much a case of just be careful. Yep. Yeah. You can see here what I mean about the car being like it is. About trying to much acceleration as we can. But the acceleration of this is just phenomenal. Phenomenal. Also, you may notice sometimes I do turn my chair. That's just a thing I do. Don't ask me why. For some reason, it's just a trait of mine. I've always done it. You may see me slightly turn the chair. Yeah, it's that feeling of like, if you told a racing guy to sit still, he probably couldn't. He probably couldn't sit there straight and not do anything. No, I certainly can. I struggle to friggin' sit still. Especially when your head starts to, oh god, that's it, then it all goes off then. As soon as you tilt your head, that's it, you've lost it then. Nice, 155. Pretty good. A lot faster. That was a lot faster than I was expecting, to be honest. Oh, we're going up against the. I just realised what the cars were against is a 8086 Truno. I think it was quite popularly used in the Go Initial D, I think it was. Go quite wide at them corners. probably get away on the straights. Maybe just out of some corners. Just. Unless it's that corner, then maybe not. I mean, for me, for most of this, it'll be just trying to make sure I don't hit too many walls above everything else. Also, the funny thing is, you'll notice when we get to Suzuka Circuit, by the way, the last race in the game, that we can just cut corners. Because there is nothing wrong with corner cutting in this game. The game doesn't care. The game will happily let you corner cut if you wanted to. Okay, so, yep. Yep. Through there. That complex is always a bit tough. As is this last one here. Somewhat. There we go. Nice. Not too bad there, actually. I'm quite happy about that. So. There's a lot. Okay, the final. So now that we've got the final, this has got 7 races in it. It's about 20-25 minutes long, and that's the final. That's it. Also, thankfully, you get to do this, but you only do 2 laps of it, so that's quite nice. So what we'll end up being able to do is we'll be able to do only 2 laps of this, 2 laps of the reverse, plus the 2 races that we would do for Tokyo. Do 2 races there, plus the rainy Tokyo, I'll call it, and then we get to go to Suzuka Circuit and we finish with a race there. And timing will end when the credits start rolling there. So yeah, nothing too much to say, realistically speaking, but yeah, like I said, a lot of this is fairly easy once you know, just crack on with it and get used to it. It's not too bad. I think, to be honest, I think that most of the races are easy. You'll probably struggle with the mountain races though, above all else, because again, tight turns, constant having to move the car from left to right, and put the brakes on, everything like that. But for the most part, the races are fairly straightforward. It's not too hard to get used to. And like I said, if you were to play the PAL/Japanese version, the original version, you would have a much easier time than playing the North American release. Unless, for whatever reason, you take the American release a lot easier. If you, like I said, if you play both versions, you'll see exactly what I mean by the comparison between the two. Me personally, I played the PAL version before I played the NTSC version, and then played the NTSC version and went, wow, this is awful. Handling wise, like, the game still played the same, it was just handling wise it felt awful. Again, that's my 2 cents. But like I said, the NTSC version, it has a few extra cars in there, new bonus tracks as well, and the game is overall longer and probably a bit more of a bigger experience. So I'd say if you're looking for a longer game length, definitely go with the US version of the game. If you're looking for an easier time with the game and also a better handling model, at least in my opinion, then definitely get the PAL/Japanese release. So yeah, one thing to mention. Also, I just noticed one of the cars we're against is the Skyline. That's very interesting. I didn't notice that. We were up against the R34 Skyline as well. One of the cars. That's interesting. think the hardest opponent altogether, the entire hardest opponent, is definitely the Honda NSX. For some reason, I don't know why. It just is like much more difficult. But yeah, there you go, I guess. I also find it funny how it's like, oh, a Saka highway or loop highway. It's like, what is it? It's just a box. You're just driving a box formation. Could be anything. Could be actual like highways and stuff like that. I will be honest, the track design is questionable. The track seems a bit too easy to drive around. But again, that's just me personally. I do think this is probably where Tokyo Extreme Racer and that particular series had the hand over this game, really. But again, there you go. So let's get rid of it. Like I said, get this one out of here, get this race out of here, and go from there, I think. I'd be armed, I'd be speeding. Very true. I see you, chat, I see you. Also, him saying come on, I wish I could turn him off, but at the same time, why would you? Him criticizing your driving? Hell yeah. It's just, I'll be honest as well, maybe this is just a Japanese thing, I don't know, but it's interesting because you obviously had, in the later 2000s, you had the Ridge Racer games where you had the guy criticizing you, you're driving, so if you hit someone or you weren't driving fast enough, he would criticize your speed. I don't know if that was just a thing that started with Modellista or maybe started earlier with Forza. Not Forza. Sorry, not Forza. Ridge Racer. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Like, genuinely, no idea. Maybe? Maybe not? Don't know. Anyway. Tokyo here. So, again, we've got this race. Nice. Get 3 laps of this out of the way. No 3 laps again, like I said, at the reverse layout, and then we have our wet race at Tokyo. Again, same in reverse. And then, yeah, move on to Suzuka circuit, so nothing too bad there. So, not quite a sub 1 minute lap. Shame, but would have been nice. I'll be honest as well, like the music is very generic rock, I think, is probably the genre I'm looking for. Reminds me very much of a game called Dead in the Water, which for those that don't know about that, give that a look up. That's vehicle destruction and I guess late 90s for you. It was a boat game. Wasn't just any boat game though, you had 2 modes in it, race mode and battle mode. Battle mode involved blowing the crap out of each other. Racing mode was just what you said. It's just what I said it is. It's you race. Nothing too exciting. You can destroy your enemies though in the race mode, but it's more fun to do battle mode because it's just pure destruction. Also, guys like, why are you so bad? Mate, I'm winning by a lot. I wouldn't exactly say I'm bad. Winning by at least 3 seconds, maybe a bit more. Down the back straight we go. Nearly finished anyway. Nearly done. Oh, with this race at least. Like I said, then we've got another one, but in reverse, and then we've got our wet race then. So, that one done dusted.
Keep rocking, baby.
Also, him say, keep rocking, baby, is interesting. There we go. I think there's another reason why we picked the Subaru. So Subarus are known for being lightweight, and whilst they might not have the biggest or the best engines in the world, the power to weight ratio is usually a big help. It wouldn't stack up against the likes of a TVR, but given it's got a 4-wheel drive system and, you know, lightweight body, meant for rallying basically, I think that's the reason why we use the car for the run, to be honest. I've never really questioned as to why we use it. I'm just happy I get to drive a Subaru for a run. You know, other than it being a case of, because why not? It's just that it's like, no, this car's actually useful. So, yeah, there you go. Also, I could have painted the car in any colours I want, so when you get the car, it defaults to just the colour blue, which, see, is a Subaru colour. Why did I paint it green with black stripes? Well, one of the characters that I didn't like that much, I never had a fondness for in Need for Speed Most Wanted, was JV, and he had a green vibe with black vinyl, and for some reason the green and black and the word Viper altogether just stuck, and as a result I've kind of stuck with that theming here. As you can see, I've got Viper on the reg. You can customize your res. This is the other thing I haven't mentioned yet. So what you're able to do in this game, you're able to customize your garage a little bit. You can customize your cars however you want. So you can even nickname the cars, park them in the garage. You can change the registration plate. I think it's up to 5, maybe 6 characters. I want to say 5 characters though. I've not seen a 6 character, unless I'm wrong, but say 5 characters because that's what I can see. But yeah, you can really, if you so desired, you could really make the cars look the way you want them to. Heck, there's even like a freestyle paint thing where it's like, oh yeah, if you want to, you can make it look a certain way, put stickers on it and all the rest of it. Make your car into an anime girl if you wish to do so. Hey, I didn't say you couldn't do that. You probably can. There's probably a way of doing it. You know, I mean, you could make this car like hot pink if you wanted to and do whatever. It really doesn't matter. It is all personal preference, and like I said, it's not a massive level of customization, but it's probably enough for a lot of people to just have a crack at it and mess around with. Like I said, this is on all versions of the game. You can do that on whichever ones you choose to do so. Oh, there you go. Also, that gets rid of the 4th race. So we now have 2 more races to go. And then we have Suzuka. So I think it's now the 2 around Tokyo, plus the last one at Suzuka, and there you go. Yeah, so there we go. Time to do some wet racing. We haven't done for a bit, and I may struggle here a little bit. I have got a fast car, but the reason why I say I might struggle a little bit here is because at the start of the run, and this is kind of crucial, so what you do is you end up picking the slick tires. And the slick tires are really good, they are quite useful. However, in the wet, they are not so useful, so you have to be very careful. So I have to be careful here with the wet tires. So if I'm not careful, I can spin out quite easily, which is something I don't want to do here, so apologies if I end up taking this a bit easy, and go from there. I might hit the car off the wall a couple of times. That's mainly just to keep myself in check. So yeah, apologies for a few times that I do hit the walls in this one. You might hear him complaining a little bit as well. I have to be careful as well that I don't like hit the curb too much, because if I do hit the curb too much, then yeah, it's not going to be great, fortunately. Like I said, just to be on the safe side. Luckily, in a straight line this thing goes, so it's not too bad. And also as well, I can easily, if needs be, I can easily take the hit. In terms of points, I'm ahead in terms of points. So I'll see how things go on this one. There we go. Phew. Damn. Okay, so we all just kept ahead of the skyline there. I'm 10 points ahead. That's a good buffer. We win the last race anyway, by the way, for those wondering. We are going to win the last race no matter what, so that should be okay. Won't really have to worry too much, but here we go. I can be spun out if I'm not careful. There we go. There we go. Now obviously on the tarmac I can easily gain speed. This is where I gain speed on the AI. And also through this back end here. Nice, not bad, not a bad first lap. Wasn't ideal getting overtaken at the start, but honestly, we take it. You have to be careful as well, because I'm turning the car little by little, I'm tapping the steering a little bit, just so that I'm not actually gonna spin out, because it's quite easy to spin out in the wet. Also, why is that ahead of the AI? Wow. Hey then. There we go. Lap. Then we move on to Suzuka, at which point the run will be complete. Believe me, racing in the wet isn't as easy as it looks. You probably get used to it after a short while, but racing in the wet with slick tyres on is, to put it blunt, like driving on an ice rink. That's what it's like. Give you that, you know, to give you that that sort of idea of what it's like driving wet tires, dry tires in the wet. There we go. So, gotta get out of here.
Check it out.
Okay, so got last race, and it's at Suzuka Circuit, and it is 3 laps. Here we go. This is the Suzuka Circuit, and my car immediately is going to take the lead, and it will never look back. And when what I said before about corner cutting, yeah. Well, we'll be doing that a lot. Believe me. Won't have to worry so much. As you can see, I'm already gaining a lot of time on the AI here. Who says cheating can't be fun? Like I said, the game doesn't stop you either, that's the main thing here. The game is not stopping me from doing this. I'm doing whatever I damn well want on this. You do about 1.5 minutes each lap, give or take. Even with all the cheating and stuff, so said, have to do it now. To do it another 2 more times, and there we go. I mean, if I so desired, I can use 4th gear actually through here. There we go. Yeah, like I said, a fairly long race this one, the finale, but it's to be expected given, you know, what it is. But yeah, you can see how much I'm winning by quite a fair bit. Just before, I don't really get any time to say it once this run is finished. Just quickly want to say thanks to Armed with their Speed for allowing me to run this again. To run another game for their event, but more specifically to run this one. I haven't run this game at a marathon for a couple of years now, so yeah, it was interesting to get given a chance to actually show it off again. I think if I was to do this again, I probably would be de-rusting this a lot better than what I have done. I don't think I've done a very good job in terms of running the game, but at the same time, you can't win them all, so yeah, there you go. Also, sub 130, nice. So we should be on our way, last lap. The thing is as well, is timing won't end when I end up crossing the line. It will actually be when I get to the credits. So yeah, we'll see what the final time with. I think this might be a 109, which won't be too bad for me, given the fact that PB is like 107.08. Then again, this route is known to be slower, so there is that. Yeah, this is looking very much like a 109. See how this one goes. Like I said, time's not when I cross the line. Time is when I end up seeing the credits, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. The last chicane for the last time. Come on, Fallon! Now comes the moment of truth. Probably won't be PB, but it's close. Time. There we go. It was a 109.28. And for the route that I used, it was 8.5 seconds off my PB for this particular route. Which isn't bad, considering that my PB was pretty decent. I was actually able to match my PB on every split, surprisingly. From level 2 to level 4, I lost 5 seconds on the Urban Championship, but then I pulled it back slightly in the Mountain in the Japan Championship to finish 8.6 behind. So yeah, not bad at all. Sub 110 as well, so that's quite nice. Also, just to kind of mention as well, gotta go through all this. There we go. And say that I've been cleared on that one. So there's the car in all its glory. But yeah, just one or two quick things before I do go. First and foremost, thanks to the Alpha Speed guys for having me run this game. Sorry that a lot of my talking was kind of ramblings and nonsense, because the fact of the first half is where everything happens, and after you get past level 4, it just kind of takes a back seat, and it's just a lot of doing races over and over. Yeah, like literally half a run is done in 20 minutes, the other half is done in the other 40-50 minutes. So yeah, feel free to check this game out if you've got. I mean, I think to be honest, you probably run PCSX2 on a potato these days, and how more optimized it is. But if you get a chance, feel free to download the European or Japanese release, the first release. If you want a challenge, download the US version. If you want to run these games, feel free to do so. We have guides for both versions up on SRC. And honestly, the soundtrack's pretty good too as well, so feel free to give the soundtrack a listen at some point. But yeah, if you like cell-shaded racing games, then this is probably a good game to start with. Casually wise, it is quite fun. But also, like I said, there are a lot of indie games that are doing a lot of these cell-shaded stuff nowadays as well. It's kind of had a resurgence in the last couple of years, which is quite nice. But yeah, that's going to be all from me. If you want to catch me, I'm over at ViperRaces over on Twitch. I tend to do a bit more casual stuff than I do with speedruns these days, but if you want to watch me for racing games or just anything, just fancy tuning in and chilling out for a bit, then I'm over at ViperRaces on Twitch. And yeah, that's going to be all from me, so I'll hand it back over to the guys, and yeah, I'll catch you all again soon. There you go. Robs.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
Oh, my goodness, guys.
Now, how was that? That was crazy.
Haters said
Never
no.
understood.
I was looking up. Apparently, the reason why the game underperformed is because distributors thought the game like wasn't gonna sell and they refused to carry it. I think that's criminal. I'm gonna be honest.
That is pretty criminal.
That is. They did not see the vision, but we at Arm with Their Speed see the vision as we always do.
We see it, and apparently you guys couldn't hear us at the end of the run there, so we're gonna go ahead and say the announcements that we were gonna say at the end of the run here. But we got some really cool games coming up. You know, we've got Super Metroid coming up in like literally like the next couple
momentarily.
minutes. Then we got, you know, we got, what is it? What's after that?
Spyro, the Legend.
Spyro, and then
The Legend of Spyro,
you
Eternal Night. I
we
said
got
it
Legend of
correctly.
Spyro, the Eternal Night, and then we got Sonic Adventure. That's gonna cap off the first half of Arm with Their Speed today, but then, you know, there's gonna be some really good runs for our evening portion as well.
Oh yeah.
So stay tuned
So-
for sure. But we've got Super Metroid. We got a good Metroid mod.
Yeah.
Linka.
Who's been here
Link has done
a bunch of
couple
times.
these on Arm with Their Speed before.
Yeah.
So we're gonna once again be blessed with some good old Metroidvania.
Big fan. All right. We're gonna just keep on moving then. Super Metroid
Yeah, we're gonna keep
Rise
this train moving.
coming up.
What's up?
God, I love Metroid, guys.
Let's say let's go ahead and get Linka in here.
It's all happening.
Let's see.